An edition of the Bondex live stream. This is actually the second one of the year, and we're here joined by CEO and founder Victor Egovail of Agente BTC, one of the premier remittance crypto-enabled businesses in Latin America. It's very excited to have you, Victor, and if you would give us a bit of background about yourself and your company, that would be great.
Sure. Well, thank you very much, Ignacio, for this interview. About me, I am the CEO of Agent BTC, how you said. My background is I am business administrator. I've been working in the fintech space for more than 8 years. I've been working in different categories of fintechs, like in different apps, also in the service of payment gateway. After have that experience in both kind of different companies, like in fintechs of applications, and also of fintech of payment gateways. I jumped to the system of blockchains, and I want to say this because when you understand how works the payments gateway systems, you can understand how works all the flow in every kind of different services. So remittances is not the something exclusivity of this. So remittances and also cryptos have almost the same path to send the money, transfer the money. So when I understand more crypto, I could, decide to go over there and stay working in that because it's more easily, more quickly.
Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, so something I wanted to touch base with you about is if you look at the original Bitcoin paper, it was actually
Yeah,
meant as an electronic form of payment system. But
right.
as more volume came into the system and the blocks took too much time to fill, the cost of sending money across the world became more expensive than the traditional remittance business. And then the use case wasn't really working anymore. So that's why, for example, they did the fork with Bitcoin Cash, right? So what I like about your business is that you are actually fulfilling the original mission of Bitcoin, which was not just to be a store of value, but a form of payment and value transfer. And I mean, you can tell us a bit more about it, but there's a lot of you're mostly Latin America based. One of the biggest exports of Latin America is people, right? Who are all over the world working hard, and then a lot of them need to send money back to their families. And I imagine that's the bigger use case that you accomplish. But can you develop on that a bit more?
Yeah, sure. Well, how you said, initially, Bitcoin was just only for transfer money, but Bitcoin understand like I know just Bitcoin, like the community about who is working on Bitcoin understand like you can use Lightning Network for send also money, but also they create another and different kind of type of ways to send the money, like using, I mean, different blockchains like Tron, be Binance Smart Chain. You can use in different ways like send the money. The thing is. How you resolve this, how we do that is like we understand our clients, their need is send the money easily and not expensively. So we decided to use different kind of cryptos, not just Bitcoin. We use Bitcoin, we use Tether, and we are adding DAI, and also we are going to add USDC because we understand like our clients, or in general the client from Latin America, what they are looking for is store value because they don't want to lose value any moment, earn some money about this value, and also transfer that value or transfer that money between different countries quickly and not expensively. So that's our case of use.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, and it's a fantastic use case study, especially for people in countries in which maybe the governments and the currencies are not as stable as in more developed nations. So they're kind of vulnerable. And you can see things that have happened in Argentina, for example. And so you want to avoid those things. So that's why I think the population in Latin America is one of the best use cases, right, for the cryptocurrency business. And I wanted to ask you, how did you start your journey in blockchain? Did you have a eureka moment when you started the business that you went down the rabbit hole of blockchain?
That's a good question. Well, I started because first of all, before I joined BTC, I got another company. It was Swan Mining. It was crypto mining. So all my experience started in crypto mining. After I understand how it works, I jumped to crypto exchange. So it was my first, my first connection between blockchain and these different kind of technologies.
Interesting. And so, from the looks of HMPTC, it looks like quite a simple way to for someone actually to, if you're a crypto noob or not someone that's a crypto native, it seems like a very easy way to get into it, no matter your level of expertise. No, so what would you say? Well, how would you say you should get started if you're using a platform like yours?
Well, how you say it? Very simple. Like our clients just need to register after pass the validation level number one or level two, depends how much they want to spend or they want to buy in cryptos. And after that, we have what we have, and what is our difference between our competitors. We have a nice and also kind customer services. Our team is like a working in that because we understand the clients are interested to somebody take a little bit more time to explain, and this is what we do. Like we have not just nice customer services, but we try to have a better customer service than our competitors. And also it's because at this moment we are just in Peru. We looking forward jump to Colombia and Chile. So when we do that is when we're gonna start, improving different areas. But we try to have our services always simple.
Got it, understood. And I think that's a good way because the way that we're going to get mass adoption is by keeping the use of cryptocurrency as simple as possible. So your service and your company is very important in that. And I don't know if you're familiar with Bondex, but we're essentially the premier Web3 like professional network for the blockchain industry. So I wanted to ask you about some of the jobs that you see for a remittance business. What type of employees do you have in the company? What are the necessary skills? How do you see that part of the company evolving?
Well, that's a good question. About our team is like first of all, we have a multicultural team. That's mean like we have people from Mexico, we have people from Poland in tech, in TI, and IT team. About finance, we have people from Peru, Colombia, but what we do and how we, you know, making some search about uh, people who want to join us in this adventure is we so not just the skills about knowledge, we see the skills about how much they are interested in being involved in the ecosystem of cryptos. If you don't like cryptos, you cannot be part of us because this is a requirement for us. Like everybody in this company like what we do, like enjoy what we do, like make own research, stay looking for a new technologies or looking for something different about not just in the case of users Latam. Everybody in this company is like really enjoy take time to make their own research and learn more and bring that knowledge to the company.
That's good. And I have a question for you. Do you see your business as a competitor to the traditional banking system or complementary to it? A better way to just transfer money across the world that could be integrated with regular banks? I've seen that you actually have some very well known banking partners in Peru.
That's a good question. For be honest, is the second because how we said we cannot like disappear the whole system what is already done. So what we can do is like be part of the and try to make better the system and provide, if it's possible, this system for them. But we are not trying like a disappear what they are doing because they've been in this space for more than 500 years. So it's not possible. What we understand is it's better create the technology, have the technology, and bring that technology for more people because end of the day, the important is the clients.
No, that makes sense. And in that case, do you think there's going to be, for example, more jobs at the traditional banks to kind of cope with this type of new blockchain services that are going to be implemented, for example?
Yeah, what's going on in Peru at this moment. The Banco Central de la Reserva of Peru, what they are doing is they are accepting and they are developing their own cryptocurrency, because they understand like it's a new way and it's the easy way. So I expecting like Peru gonna be one of these countries who gonna show something pretty soon to the rest of Latam, and not just Peru. Also, I know like another countries are working in that. So
Yeah, El
I
Salvador
think
being the
yes,
famous one, right, in Central America, for example. And let
sure.
me ask you more about Peru itself. So, for example, on December 21st, 2021, a new legislation called the Crypto Asset Marketing Framework was introduced in the Peruvian concept. And I believe it's aimed at regulating the whole cryptocurrency business in the country. Do you think that this is a signal of high adoption by the country, or or not? Maybe just more blue tape,
I
red tape.
think it's a good signal. I think it's a good signal because these kind of signals is what we've been looking, and also it's because the regulator from here, they are thinking more about what's going on because they are looking the volume what is happening at this moment in these systems and also in these ecosystems, because before 2 3 years ago nobody like in Peru was expecting like a Bitcoin, and also the people were going to start speaking about this. But after our last president, our new last president, the people start like thinking about what's going on in the cryptos, but also how they can save their money and how they can have their money outside or be more, yeah, how they can like take this money and take out from the Peru more quickly. So yes.
That makes sense. So it's you would consider it to be a great territory because other countries obviously don't have the same kind of liberal policies or regulation first. So what would you tell people that are maybe in another Latin American country that don't have the ease of adoption? Would you tell them that they should try to actually look for a way to have Bitcoin or cryptocurrency anyway, even if the government doesn't allow it?
That depend. That depend because no all the people should go to the against to the regulators, but the thing is everything is depend of the case of use. Like Venezuelan immigrants and also Venezuelans using Bitcoin and
Right.
cryptos or stable coins because it's the necessity of what they have. Like end of the day, like how I said, it's the customer and also it's the client who are the most important. So it's the people who gonna decide what's going on, because even if the regulators try to do something against to the some kind of specific technology, um, is a necessity from the clients or from the people about this country who is gonna do something about this, because if they need, they're gonna find and gonna do by themselves, because you cannot like try to close whatever you want because you are the government. No, you need to allow this happen because it's the only way how you gonna understand, and after you can do something better for help.
That's interesting. And I think part of this new legislation in Peru in particular, that would define crypto assets and clearly define duties for virtual asset service providers, or what they're calling VASP. I think this actually falls under the category of agent BTC because you would be considered a virtual server provider, right? So how does this new legislation affect your company in particular?
Well, that's a good question. What I need to speak with my lawyer and giving a new better answer about this, because for be honest, I cannot like tell you something what I didn't pay too much, not too much attention, but I pay attention, but not for giving a new, or I mean, for give our opinion at this moment, because HNBTC is thinking what's going on after not just this legislation, is thinking what's going on in our operations, because at this moment we are becoming an American company. So uh, our problems, or I mean like what we try to do is like achieve our goal for this year. And about this legislation, what we are gonna do is like go back when it's necessary, uh, because those legislation is something what is just proposed. No, it is already done. So yeah.
Understood. And now I kind of want to bring it back to our company. We are also looking at some regulatory hurdles and things, because we're going to be a large and global job marketplace. Eventually, it will definitely make sense to use our native token, BNDX token, to actually make payments and pay people in their exchange of labor and skills for time from employers or any company startups around the world to play their to use our coin to do that. So in terms of speed and security, do you think these crypto payments, like for example using the BNDX token or how you guys do it, will actually be more suitable than getting paid through traditional banks in the future?
Yeah, yeah, everything is depend of the number of users what you have, but the most important is if you have, I mean, this token what you said, uh, and you make something like a direct connection between different companies, like I don't know, services like water, like electricity, and you have a contract directly with them, and you can spend your token in their systems, uh, gonna be more easily, because people, if they understand how they can use this in the case of use specifically, you solve the problem for them. Because here is not the problem. The problem now is the crypto. The problem is business are not accepting the crypto. So if the business gonna accept like the crypto, you can use and you can spend your tokens around different business, and everything is dependent networking what you have in the physical location. Because here in Peru, in the case of use, is like a um, cash is king. So the most important thing is how many business are you having in your networking, and how much and how you can spend your token in those business.
That makes sense. Listen, one of the last questions that we like to do on our interviews towards the end is, what is your view on the current market? It's been a kind of a shaky end of the year and also start to 2022. What is your personal view? Obviously, this is not investment advice to anyone listening, but what is your personal view on the current market conditions?
That's a good question. Everything is like a cycle. So what's happened with crypto or what's happened with Bitcoin is something like always, not always, but most of the time, it starts something like this, like at the beginning of the years are not like at the top moment of crypto, and it's something like happened before many times. So I suppose, the most important thing what everybody should remember is Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency who is not gonna disappear, which is not gonna disappear. So it's not a financial advice, but I recommend like a don't put out your crypto, I mean your Bitcoin in special, and still holding, because Bitcoin is a currency who just is a cycle. People, if understand it's a cycle and also it's an asset, it's a limited asset, they're gonna understand like a half a Bitcoin is like a half something what is gonna be escaso, yeah, in some moment,
Scarcity. Yeah,
scarcity in some moment. So that's gonna have more value. So it's the only thing what I can say about Bitcoin. But also in the cycle, always in cryptos, at the end of, I mean, at the beginning of the years, like the market now is the best moment, but it's a good opportunity to invest.
I agree. I think it's a buyer's market and it's a perfect entry point for people that are coming to the space. Victor, listen, it was a fantastic to have you on our interview here. I think we should have a conversation outside of here about your company and coming to the US. We're actually a Miami-based HQ, so hopefully we can meet here when you come around. And it was a pleasure to have you. And to all
Thank
the
you very
Bondex and Bondex users out there, if you ever find yourself in Peru or Latin American countries, I encourage you to check Gente TVC for all your remittance needs. Thank you,
thank
everyone, and see you later this week for the next live stream with Tim, our CEO.
thank you very much, Ignacio.